Stale about freedom. There's nothing stale about liberty. There's nothing stale about fighting for it. Nothing stale whatsoever. Freedom. You're getting tired of standing up? I don't blame you. By the way, for those of you watching on TV, you think the standing O's getting a little... People just tired. They've been up and out of their chairs 100 times here. Freedom. No. Give it up. Thank you. Freedom is the natural yearning of the human spirit as we were endowed by our Creator. And the United States of America is the place in the world where that yearning flourishes, where freedom is expected because it's part of the way we're created. I loved it when the Soviet Union went down, the wall went down, and the liberals in our country said, you know, they may not be ready for freedom over there. They've been oppressed here for... Yeah, see, liberals will gladly tell you who can have freedom and who can't. And that's what this piece, the pieces of legislation is all about, folks. Freedom, liberty, economic prosperity are all entwined here. We're going to have to, as a conservative movement, understand that our job, after we come to an agreement among ourselves, which shouldn't be hard, but it's going to be difficult because the people who think they're smarter than everybody else are going to be out there forging alliances with people that try to make themselves look like the new power brokers, and they will become the spokesman, by the way. Explain that to you. This is a funny story. Show you how I can hijack a news cycle even by doing nothing. The Tuesday before the inauguration, President Bush invited me to the Oval Office for lunch. And it was on and off the record, some of the conversations. And he brought out, interesting at the end of it, my birthday had been the day before, he brought out a chocolate birthday cake, a microphone, and stood beside me with Ed Gillespie and sang happy birthday, and the White House photographer taking pictures. It was just, wish my parents were alive. My parents wouldn't believe my life. You know, they came out of Great Depression. They didn't think this was possible for somebody who did not go to college. And even for people who did, they didn't think this was possible. Life has changed so much for the better in this country. That's why I cringe when I see what is in store. So as I'm flying home from lunch, I'm watching television, and I see that the word has leaked out that Obama is hosting a dinner with conservative media pundits at the home of George Will. And I said, wonder who these people are. I know they're in the media. One of them's going to have to leak it. Sure as heck, one did. Now, we all know who were there. They were, and let's see, I can't remember all the names, so I want to mention any, but let me tell you what Obama's purpose. Does anybody really think that Barack Obama had dinner with a bunch of conservatives hoping they would change his mind? Hell no. His purpose, and his purpose really wasn't to change theirs. His purpose was to anoint them as conservative spokesmen. These are the people that Obama's willing to break bread with. These happened, some of the people there happen to be the people who think the era of Reagan is over, who believe that conservatism needs to be redefined. Of course Obama would try to lure them in. Well, all of a sudden, I get home about 5 o'clock, and my email is jammed with questions from reporters. Is that why you took the day off today? Is that why you're not on the air? Is that why are you going to dinner with Obama? By the way, I left out a crucial part of the story. I had, was this a Monday, Kit? This was a Monday. No, it was a Tuesday. And I had forgotten to tell my audience I was going to miss the next day. And I signed off my show saying, I'll see you tomorrow. And that's the last thing I said. And my staff reminded me, no, you're not going to be here tomorrow. I came up with a plan that the guest host the next day would say I was called out of town to Washington at midnight the night before. So just an innocent little trick on the radio audience. Everybody picked that up and thinks I'm invited to the Obama. So those people that were invited to it got less coverage than I did, and I didn't even know about it. So it was fun. Conservatives are naturally happy. We seek happiness, we pursue it. It's part of who we are. So what can you do? Live your life. I swear, folks, you do not know, in just the everyday life that you live, in your neighborhoods, your homes, or, the favorite word, this administration, your communities. Remember, the root word there is commune. Be happy. Live your life according to your values, your principles, knowing that you're going to fail. I mean, no human being is perfect. You're going to make mistakes. But live your life. You'll be stunned at how many people you impress. Don't be afraid to tell children that they're wrong. They don't know what you do. They simply haven't lived long enough. It's not their fault, but they're being fed a bunch of garbage in school. And don't be afraid to tell them that they're wrong. Don't go the Oprah route, say, got to be friends with my parents, or with my kids first and foremost. Understand they're going to hate you for a while, and they're going to rebel against you, and then someday they're going to think you're the smartest person they ever met. But you owe them the truth. You owe them the truth about things. You owe them the truth about morality. You owe them the truth about values. You owe them the truth about politics. Next thing, we've got to stop treating voters as children. Somebody says they want something that's bad for them. Do you give it to them just to be nice? Or do you tell them, regardless of their age, no, you shouldn't have that? Well, it's none of your business. Well, maybe not, but I still don't. And then you back out of it. But you still have to have the ability to tell people what's right and wrong, and that's not authoritative. That's not authoritarian, and it's not trying to deny somebody a good time. It's not trying to interrupt somebody's hedonism, pleasure. It's about all of us with shared values trying to make sure that people live the highest quality lives they can, but that ultimately it's their decision as to what they do. But the point is, don't treat them like, especially voters, as kids. Just if they say they want it, okay, we'll come up with a plan to give it to you. Have any of you seen the movie? I'd never heard of it. But I happened to get it on DVD the other day. Have you ever seen the movie Swing Vote with Kevin Costner? Well, now, it's kind of a moronic movie, as most things out of Hollywood are, but this was fascinating in the way, I'll tell you a short story. Because of a voter screw-up in New Mexico, there is one voter who is going to elect the president. His vote didn't count because his daughter voted for him. I'm not going to give the whole story away, but Mexico's electoral votes, New Mexico's electoral votes determine. And they have a 2-week period before this guy can vote again. So the challenger and the president both relocate to where this guy lives in New Mexico, and they end up like the Democrats.